Senator Tom Cotton joins us now. Senator, how did you become aware of this?
Brian, thanks for having me on to talk about this very important issue. It came to my attention through various reports from Arkansas and Iowa and other states where China has been looking to buy land. There's one very specific and problematic example in North Dakota where a giant Chinese conglomerate was going to build a large facility within line of sight of Grand Forks Air Force Base. It was an ongoing controversy with locals there. It took a long time, too long in my opinion, to get our Department of Defense to acknowledge that this posed grave risks to our national security. We have a lot of action on this issue at the state. Glenn Youngkin in Virginia, Sarah Sanders in my state of Arkansas has already passed legislation like this. I'd take it a step further in Washington. First, we'd have a nationwide ban, and second, we would extend it beyond farmland to all land. American land should stay in America's hands. It shouldn't be in the hands of Chinese communists who can use smart lawyers and lobbyists to manipulate the definition of agriculture. But we should not introduce yet another avenue for Chinese influence and manipulation into our economy and into our country.
Senator, they have roughly 384,000 acres of American land. It just shows how we're looking at them differently. We see pictures of Senator Schumer getting awards from who we now are Chinese nationals acting as cops right in downtown New York City, policing their own citizens to make sure that they march to their orders. And now we have the ambassador to France, the Chinese ambassador to France, making a comment that he thinks some of these nations that were once under the Soviet influence are really not legitimate nations, that essentially they should be under the Soviet umbrella again. That's news to Estonia, Lithuania, Poland, and of course, Ukraine's being invaded right now. What's going on here?
Well, I think what you see over the last 2 years is President Biden and unfortunately some of our allies have appeased China. They've conciliated China. They've always turned the other cheek. You know, right before that ambassador from China to France said that is Emmanuel Macron went to China and suggested that NATO and Europe really had no dog in the fight between China and Taiwan, and they should not do anything to upset China. And immediately China increased the pace of its military drills around Taiwan. And then you have the ambassador from China saying such provocative things. And the more they say these things, the more they think they can get away with it without condemnation, without pushback, the more aggressive they'll become. It's kind of like those military drills around Taiwan. They're specifically designed to kind of make America and Taiwan and other countries that would support Taiwan less likely to respond to them. So one day when they do go for the jugular, we may not be as prepared.
You are the first to actually point out the China threat, that they were not going to be competitors. They are indeed a threat at every level, from Latin America to Africa. They're on the march, and teaming with Russia makes them even more formidable. We've got to be up for the challenge, and I think a lot of Democrats get it, which gives me encouragement. Senator Tom Cotton, thank you.
Thank you, Brian.